I don't know the answer. Sometimes life is like this dark tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel. But if you just keep moving, you will come to a better place.
Hey, did you know that Abraham Lincoln was depressed? I feel like everyone's struggling just a little bit nowadays. A lot of stuff has been in my way, and a lot of people have been there for me and against me. But nothing I regret. I'm thankful for everything that has happened to me. I am the man I am today because of all of that. I feel like everyone has gone through something. Everyone has to go through something. And with the things I've gone through, I've made a lot of mistakes and I've learned a lot of lessons. And the idea of these videos, the idea of this, is so that I can teach you the lessons I've learned over these years so you don't have to repeat them, so that you can learn the kinds of things I had to make bad decisions for to learn. Because we can take any advice we can get, and if I can give you any advice, I'm going to give it.
About 2 years ago, I hit my lowest point. In my sea of sorrow, I realized that I needed to do something with myself. So, I recorded a video titled How to Improve and How I Did. I returned to this video 2 years later as a guide. My words here are not profound. They're not perfect, but I do know that it works. Moving on to the video itself, I do not agree with some of the things I said, and I need to elaborate on others. For that reason, here's a short snippet of the 30-minute long video.
And I decided, instead of moping around and feeling depressed for myself, which is something you can do, and which is what a lot of people do, I decided no more of this terrible feeling, but to try to improve myself. I tried to look at the world in a more beautiful way, and it takes a lot of effort. I'm going to be honest. It's not just a switch. You have to constantly remind yourself, this is a terrible thought, I'm going to think of something else. And when you think of something else, your life gets a lot better. But the thing is, it's constant. You have to constantly shift your thoughts.
In my short time forcing myself to think positively, I found that it takes a large amount of effort. It varies from person to person and situation to situation, but for me, if I were to graph it on a energy over time graph, I think it would look like a logarithm, right? Like, it's easy at the start, but as you start learning about more ways to maintain better health, mental health, and as you get a better mental health, you have to maintain it. And that requires constant effort. And if you look at the area under the graph, it's a large amount of energy, right? And back then, quite frankly, I didn't want to put energy into anything. So that was a huge barrier of entry. I also talked about how I needed to change my thoughts. I found that you could essentially gaslight yourself into positivity. Like, every time you had a negative thought, you just need to flip it on its end and just turn it into a positive thought, right? Like, if a situation's really poor, you don't really need to look for an upside, because an upside might not be there. I mean, finding an upside is great. But if there isn't a positive thing in a situation, just think this is a learning opportunity. Or life wouldn't be fun if it didn't have ups and downs, right? A roller coaster would be really boring if it was just a straight path. And I would occasionally have these thoughts of, I'm stupid, or I'm super ugly, you know? And every time I had these thoughts, I would flip them on their end and think, oh, I'm actually the smartest person in this universe. And oh, I'm actually really good looking. And of course, I didn't believe these, right? But if I kept on repeating these things, I would tell my mind that I no longer want to think negative thoughts. And it would slowly and naturally start to think positively without me having to do anything. And that's how I've gotten where I am. Tony Robbins knows a lot more about this stuff than me, and he actually has a really good example. So,
change?
That's the worst.
What's wrong with me? Why can't I do this? And then you start building up a story that it's something wrong with you. And what I try to explain to people, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. I'm not here to be your guru. What you need is there's some patterns, some habits in the way you use your mind and your body. If we change those habits, you'll have a different experience. That's all it is. But being ashamed will keep you away from that because it'll put the energy so negatively in your body and you're so wiped out that it's like it's impossible, right? And then when you're in shame, you come up with all these negative beliefs about yourself. And once you believe something, whether you believe it's true or you believe it or not, it's true. Because when you believe something's true, you'll find evidence for it.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll give you a little test. Look around this room right now and notice everything you can see that's brown, okay? Everything you can find, it's a test. Look all around, both sides of you. Anything you see that's brown, people at home, look at that in your own room. What you see is brown. Okay, close your eyes.
Okay.
Tell me everything you just saw that was red. Now, obviously, you saw a lot more brown, didn't you?
Yeah.
Why? Because you're looking for it. Open your eyes. Now look for red. Look for red anywhere you can find red. Any place you can find red.
Okay.
Okay? Did you find more red this time?
Mm-hmm.
How come?
Because I was looking for red.
That's right. Once you develop a belief, you find what supports it. So watch this. You will find stuff that's not even there in order to be successful. I bet you saw some beige shit, called it brown just to feel successful, did you?
Right over there.
I bet you saw some things burgundy and called them red just so you could feel successful.
I factored in some of those now and later.
You see what I'm saying? If you think you're screwed up, you're messed up, you're going to find and you're going to color yourself that way. If you think someone else is a jerk, if you think they're your friend and they have a bad day, they have bad behavior, you go, oh, they're having a bad day. If you think they're a bad person, then it's always going to be that way.
What was the first part you said of that? If you think...
Whether you think it's true, whether you think it's not, it's going to be true for you. In other words, whatever you believe is self-evident. You reinforce what you believe. You found what you were looking for.
Yeah.
So you got to train yourself to look for something different.
For me, I was paying attention to nothing but negative stuff. I had terrible self-talk. And yet, here I am. Of course, this can be applied to other aspects, but that's for a future video. Probably many more future videos to come. But that's it for now.
I want to emphasize that this video is the start of many videos to come. My mindset is ever changing and super complex and not figured out, but I have figured some things out. For that reason, I will have many videos almost as a series, maybe as a series, we'll find out. But many videos delving into each aspect of this mindset I'm culminating or creating, forming, whatever you want to call it. And I hope you stick around for that. Hopefully, I'll have a more consistent upload schedule than my Instagram, but we'll see how that goes. Until then, peace.